2003 Volkswagen MK4 TDI Golf. Here's a few of the parts we'll need. So mounts, bump stops, and shocks. Ended up getting different brands because that's what was available, but people seem to like these Bilstein shocks, and I don't think it matters too much on the bump stops, but I didn't want to get the cheapest one. Here's a bunch of the tools you'll need. Got jack stands, PB blaster over here, a couple of screwdrivers, pop the top off, knee pads, gloves, wheel lock, and a little thing to pull off the plastic covers if you have those, a couple of wrenches, some grunty breaker bar, wrench, hand wrench, flashlights, and for torquing your lug nuts down. And it's a 16 mil socket on this one, from what I understand. I'm gonna come over and start with these guys. So we'll jack up the car and meet you there. You want to break your wheel lugs loose before you jack up the car, just to make it easier on yourself. So pull off your plastic caps and get your wheel lock if you have one, and crack those loose before you jack it up. I have a little tow hitch on my car, so it's kind of spoiled me, but that's where I jack it up, right in the middle. Now you can take them out by hand. A little bit of PB blast. Get it up in here as well. Just to make it easier. Jack this up just slightly here underneath the shock mount, just so it's not putting all that tension on that bolt when you undo it. Just a little bit's enough. It's a good idea to get your light in here now, because you'll be working up here. Not in my parts list, but you might want to grab your grandpa's old hammer. Give this a little tippity tap. Now you want to lower your jack so you can get this guy out. Lower the jack. pull this guy out. So this has seen better days on this bump stop, and I read that these mounts can go bad, and especially on the right rear that could be a problem with the clunking sounds. So I'm just going to replace them. They're not that expensive. So we'll pop this thing off the top here and see what it looks like inside. So we'll pop this off and we'll combine everything we have here we bought, make sure it all looks good. These two here match up with about the length. Got to pop this in here a couple notches, and we'll reuse this cap up top, little dome cap, but everything else will replace. I'm not sure that I want to replace with the bolts here. They came with a new one, or I kind of liked these ones better. They seem better. I might reuse those, and we'll definitely be reusing the one at the bottom of the shock. Just pop it off. I don't know, it looks good. We'll end up reusing that new one so we don't have to take this thing apart. What we're going to use is the cap, so we'll clean this off a little bit and reuse that. But other than that, we bought everything else new. So we'll assemble this guy onto here and get it all ready to go, and then we'll put it all in as one piece. I think they say to pump this a few times before it goes in, so we'll do that too. First of all, you have to make sure it's right around there. So we'll get it down onto this nub here, which is always fun. Alright, so if you have tried playing with these, they are not fun. So they say you can put it in this little groove here. No way, you can't just shove it in there. So I gently use this screwdriver to massage that lip in. You don't want to puncture it, but there was no other way for me to get it in that. It's just way too tight. But now it's in there, it is not coming out, and I didn't puncture any holes. This is pretty firm stuff. So we've got that on, the brand new one, and then we'll slide it on our shock. New nut. It's got that plastic lock washer on the inside of it, so that's not going to come out. This side goes in easier. Bumped right up, bump stop. And right down the cock-a-doodle-doo. And that's us. This nut here looks like it's a 17, slightly bigger. So to get this nut on here, it's a little tricky because the thread kept spinning. So I just kind of went quickly with the ratchet and put some slightly sideward pressure on it to try and get it to stick at first, and I finally got it down past where the little nub sticks out. Then you need to get a wrench on there and hold the nub while you tighten it. Like that. You're really going to need one of these old school bent neck ones, because that is a little bit of a bitch to get down inside of there. So I didn't have a 17 mil, so I ended up using 11/16, and it was close enough and got it in. But as you can see by the tip of this thing, not the most fun job to try and hold on to it and crank on it. So get a good strong pair of pliers that you can try and lock on. Needle nose would be ideal, but they're too weak. They start the nose isn't strong enough to get a grip on it. So. You'll get it done, but you're gonna need one of these guys. So you want to put your cap right back on the top, like that. It's on, and then you'll do the reverse. Reinstall this guy back up in there. Bolt. Not short thread. There we are. Beautiful finished product.